Hey everyone, welcome back to an episode of today's Family Talk, which will be much more in the future. It's going to be actual shows, and the reason that things came to a stop a little bit is because I'm moving. I'm selling the house that actually I live with my ex. This is the upstairs. That was like Shane's room right there at one time. Right here. Long time ago, but just to go show that we all lived here, and it's all coming to an end. To move forward, my thing today is I just want to make sure I make myself clear to a lot of the people, especially watching, and I've gotten some feedback. And the thing is, in the future, just so people know, it's going to be, I think, a little different from what people are thinking. There's not going to be, it's not a question if alienating and children not seeing their parents, if it's a parent's fault or not. That's not me. So watch something else. The problem is there is definitely one parent. It's either one parent pinning the other, or it's the father just completely didn't want nothing to do with the whole situation, which I don't condone, but now 6 years later, I can kind of understand that a dad would not want to keep going through this, the government's best interest garbage of, going to court and making him feel like a criminal. A father just wants to be a dad, and spend time with their kids. Even the kids, they don't want all this toxicity. And getting back to one reply was from actually a relative of mine saying that, keep doing what I'm doing. And the reason is because she went many years later until she grew up that she found out that the dad didn't leave them behind. And, and it wasn't, they didn't just grow apart. They didn't want to go not see their parent. The parent completely manipulated the kids that, if they didn't want anything to do with the parent, even talk to them, that she wouldn't be able to have a place to live or be accepted by her mom, that is the problem in itself, not the child feeling that they don't want to go spend the night at their dad's or whatever, which is very normal, by the way. I don't even understand how any therapist or governmental judges, when I say government, I mean the state, like family law, it's all complete garbage. How they believe that children just wake up one day and don't want their parent, that's absolutely false. She never had the chance to do that. So she's saying for me to push the idea that I'm doing the right thing, and I'll always do the right thing. And the thing is, my ex, Kelly, is not doing the right thing. And people, this is kind of like a drug problem. People enable her by saying, kids don't, it's not the mom's fault, the kids doesn't want to go over. Yes, it is. At what point do you not take accountability? And this is like the left-wing narrative of, whatever you're feeling, whatever you believe in, it's all delusional. But it's not true at all whatsoever. Because children naturally want to go see both parents. It's definitely, but the enabling part is just taking her off the hook altogether is wrong. Because the real, and I know there's going to be a lot of shows on debates that there's going to be therapists out there that disagree with me, but they're politically correct. So if there's mass health involved, just in a nutshell, they have to follow a certain script. So I know people don't believe it, but it's true. DCF and all that, complete garbage. They're just basically stealing children from their parents. I mean, that's the truth. So, this is what the dad's done wrong. So he doesn't deserve to see the kid. But We never talk about the real issues of, well, what has he done right? Because mom is not looking at that, like what he's doing right. Like in my situation, 6 solid years of my ex ignoring me. Even just yesterday, I emailed her saying, just another thing about the left-wing ideology. And if you follow the law, you love the law, you're the problem. So I said to her, things are not going to end well with her if she keeps up this crap, which means the kids they're gonna turn on her at some point because they're gonna find out the truth. And the reason my ex right now is all over the place is because I'm telling the truth. People, fathers do wrong. I'm not saying I don't do wrong, but the idea is that she only sees one thing, and we're gonna get a restrainer. We're gonna keep you away from the kids as much as we can. That's about her. That's not about the children. And going back to 6 years of no contact with her, so the kids follow her. Obviously, the idea that I wasn't there for him or Kelsey is simply not true. Even when I threw Kelsey a 16-year-old her birthday party. And this is mind-boggling. She actually almost didn't come to it, and I spent a lot of money, kind of, not a lot, but hundreds of dollars for 16. I thought it was something special. And Shane came. This is probably about a year before mom stopped it altogether. My thing is, even her, she was going to completely not show up because mom didn't approve. Because mom didn't have the money. But I even also, I don't remember at the time, I would be more than willing for her to come, but she doesn't want to. Even now I've made, I just want to make sure these things are clear. I've made every attempt in this is especially the last couple of years, because she completely ignores me, blocks emails, blocks everything. No, I've heard nothing about the schools, nothing about school pictures, which I'd love to see. I just got an email and I don't see it. But completely locks me out of everything. I made, even 2 years ago, she can come to, I made it a thing that's, hey, listen, and this wasn't she was talking to me because I don't know if she needed money or whatever, which even if she did need money, you don't need to, I'm not going to pay a lawyer. I'm going to pay, if she was getting along with me, I would just give her money or give the kids money. I mean, it's not that hard. But she completely blocks everything. That's the problem right there. But I said to her, you know what? We're gonna, after, especially last year, my mom's death, we're gonna have a family week. My brother and everybody else, from the family, every once a week or so. I invited her just so people know of what's going on. I invited her to that. She said Shane wasn't ready to come to a family function or anything, and I said, well, I went as far as you can come. It's not a big deal. No one's going to talk about anything. We can move forward. The kids will have a dad in their lives. At least show up to once a week to a family gathering. And at that point, I can either, if Shane comes to me or Kelsey says, hey, I could really use this, or, what do you think? I would just give it to them, even if that once a week. She turned that down. She said, the kids are not ready. I mean, and not to talk like a therapist, but at what point are you going to be ready? You're teaching a child that they're never ready to have a relationship with their father, but their mom, she's okay. That really proves that they're perfect, and everything that goes wrong that's why you don't see your kid, which is not something, that's why the kids believe what they believe. So when it came to family dinners, I also said, well, a year later, I said to her, if you want, we'll have our own dinner once a week. You, me, Kelsey, and Shane. We'll get together. And if, whatever they need, they can go directly to me. We don't have to go through you on all this baloney and lawyers and whatever, just toxic garbage. And the reason I'm saying this is because this is why things are the way they are. Because if mom said, hey, you know what, I want to make a step in the right direction, and we're gonna you guys have to trust me, kids would do it. Kids would have a father in their life. But that is not what mom wants at all. So I did once a week, having a discussion, whatever, just to the family talk with them, she turned that down too. Recently, I don't remember, maybe 6 months ago or so, because she only, for some reason, and the thing is, she'll say, and this is the problem, she'll say I harass her and stuff like that, but be honest with me, everybody out there. If you were a parent and you were put in my position, this is the problem that I'm having with my ex. Serious problem, serious. And somebody took your kid away from you and said, you're the problem, even though I've had no criminal record, no problem, no abuse, nothing. You're just gonna sit there and do nothing and just listen to corrupt, greedy lawyers and judges? Not be a parent no more? I mean, really? A lot of, if you're a drug addict or whatever, to get help and start today. But having a family, there's nothing for that at all to help any children whatsoever. That's why I'm going to do today's family talk, to bring up issues of the problem does lie on the mom in my situation. Period. There's no debate. I'm not going to debate anybody. I don't want to hear this leftist ideology of kids have a right and no, they don't. Kids have a right to a good family. Kids have a right. They didn't choose a divorce. They didn't. If mom and dad got along and they were on the one team and the kids were on the other side, being the parents and the kids, instead of dividing the family up even worse, they would be fine. So I would guess at this point that most people that are caught up with the government and the leftist ideology are talking about, kids' feelings and blah blah whatever. There's a reason why kids can't vote till they're 18, and the courts make money all the way to 18. After that, they don't care. So that should be a clear sign right there that that's a problem. Feeding their lawyer, making money, and I'm not paying anybody anything to keep my kids away from me, because kids have problems and feelings. You got to work through them. You don't just eliminate people out of your life, especially the most important people in your lives. I mean, his cousin Andrew actually brought him into football, and he doesn't see him at all. His little brother, his aunts, many of it. We just had a family reunion in Pennsylvania from my father's side. He should have been there. I hope I'm making myself clear, because a lot of this, it still plays into the victim. And the victim idea doesn't work. It works for lawyers very well. They can make a buku bucks through family law, buku bucks, because you get a nut job that goes in there and says, if you're going to see a lawyer to stop your child from seeing the other parent, you're part of the problem. I'm sorry, that's the truth. But the victim game, that's a serious problem, because now you're creating the children to be victims of nothing. It's delusional, it's not real. Just because I feel like a girl, and I want you to believe I'm a girl, I'm not. I'm a man. So that's delusional for a kid to believe that they're a victim when they're not victims. Mom's not even a victim. All she has to do is stop. Getting back to that email, she focused a lot all on that one thing this way. I mean, not that divorce is okay, but it could have just made a really normal divorce, other than the father's, they're not going to be sleepovers for months until they're ready. That if you're out there and you're watching this video and you're telling me that children, if they're not ready to go see the other parent, you're the problem. Nobody else is. You're the problem. Because I'm not ready to move forward in life. And the things I used to say, that even when I worked in people in recovery, is if you're ready today, tomorrow will never come. So if you're teaching children they're not ready to have a parent in their lives, you're the problem. Stop listening to the news. Stop listening to the leftist. When I move, I'm not even asking the mom for anything. This is the bizarre part about even Shane. All I'm asking is for communication. Hey, Dad, even once a week. Hey, buddy, you need anything? Yeah, I'm going to get my license. I need to go to driver's school. Oh, let's see what we can do. Or something. School pictures coming up. I got a football game coming up, which I've been going to every one of them. I've gone to every one of them. One year I went to one basketball game that I was going to go to. I was going to go every week. Even with a court order, Mom didn't care. She said that then she found this corrupt Luis Rivera out of CHD, complete garbage leftist nut job, to say that because I went to that one game, it screwed him up terribly. He couldn't. I couldn't. He was so traumatized. I got this stuff in writing. I wish I was making this up. It's insane. It's insane what these parents are doing. But according to her, it was too traumatic for me to go to the games. I went all of Shane's football games last year, but not because Mom invited me, because I found out by accident. A friend of mine told me that he was going to that school. I didn't even know. And Mom is pretty upset, by the way, not to change the subject. She didn't want me no part of the school. She was very angry that I went there and signed myself in and told them that I was a father. I went to the open house, very upset because that's hurting Shane's feelings, having a father in his life. I mean, that is pretty sad that anybody out there believes this garbage. We must move on. We must go past the simplest things in life to fix. And family is the number one priority. If kids don't have, I don't care. Kelly always stressed on, and I was blown away that the East Long Meadow school psychologist said to me that as long as the kids are doing okay, the mom can alienate them and whatnot. I got all this. The mom can do whatever, as long as the kid's doing good in school. It's not a problem. It's okay for him to have a fatherless home. I mean, to me, that's mind-boggling. That's okay. But again, the government, they don't care about children. Lawyers, judges, they don't care. All they care about is your money and helping their cronies, their friends make money, easy money, by the way. All you gotta do is find a mom that's bitter. That's probably 40 grand right there in their pocket. They're not gonna fix the problem. There shouldn't even be a family law, because no judge or lawyer should determine that. They're not psychiatrists. Even psychologists diagnosed that same Lewis guy, diagnosed him with post-traumatic stress disorder over me when he hasn't even seen me, because the mom used to set up. All I was doing back then, and I still to this day, people, this is very important. All I wanted to do was to have him to go to counseling and fix the problem, whatever the problem was, and it was going well. Mom would show up at the therapist and just stand at the door and kind of stress them out, and so they would go to therapy and they wouldn't do well. It's kind of like a court, you get somebody all worked up and it's not gonna look, it didn't work out well, they're scared to see you. And even then I'm like, what the hell, what do you mean they're scared to see me? So the mom set them up for failure to make sure that they don't ever fix the problem with their father, because in her head, that's normal. It's not normal, but that's what she believes. So even as of today, the last trial we went to, all I was asking for is to go to counseling, maybe once a week, even with the mom, together, to move on, so the kid has and by the way, a lot of his friends, they totally agree with me. Totally. Their friends, some of their parents. To move on so my kids have a good relationship for both parents. That's all I was asking for. And my ex even has the balls to want me to pay her lawyer to keep my kids away. That is insane. That would never happen in another country. To me, that is insane. I'm not going to pay you, Michael Frazee. I hope he's watching this, because you're corrupt. You're unjust. You should not be around any children. What you do, you manipulate, you lie, you're deceitful. You and that judge, DeLeo, whatever, all they did was, this is all public, by the way, so I don't care what anybody says. All this is public records. Family law should be recorded. Why don't they want it recorded? Because they don't want people to see this insanity. But he filed a motion 2 weeks after he was supposed to, by court order. So this sneaky piece of garbage wanted to write a contempt that I didn't even know that supposedly I'm supposed to pay her. 2 weeks after it was due, there wasn't even a court order no more. He couldn't even do it. Wanted me to pay as a contempt. So, but because that was after the trial. So this guy thinks that I'm an idiot and I'm just gonna go in contempt and pay him. I'm not paying anybody. Corruption needs to stop. If you wanted to do my ex a favor, you should have said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm a moral guy. Not, I want to charge you cheaper and your ex is going to pay to keep his own kids away. That's insane. Out there, and TikTok is going to go off the wall too, because I have more than enough people to start my lives. And that's going to happen too, by the way, in about 2 months. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to, and then I can grow the YouTube subscribers, because I have more than enough for TikTok. So down the lives are going to start, but I don't want people to think that I'm out here. None of this is debatable. I am 100%. I have thousands of people on my side, and my good friend Darlene that's gone through hell with this bull crap, and a lot of people that I've been talking to and helping for many years. Because on top of that, I went through a CASA training. So I worked with the courts helping children. And the reason I got out of it was because I didn't want to see the corruption. The idea that a kid had 6 lawyers and he was 2 years old and not seeing his parents because the best interest of the child was for him not to see his parents for 4.5 years over nothing. I think one was she didn't make the medical appointments. I mean, come on, people. How many times have we done that? That's garbage. And people like Frazee, those are the lawyers that do this garbage. And they sleep at night. It's not gonna, I know I'm going to heaven, but I can guarantee you one thing. These people, these corrupt judges, lawyers, DCF, I don't think so. I mean, I'm not saying they're not. Breaking up families, I find that hard to believe. And my ex, the truth is, she still has a chance. I'm not saying she's not going to heaven, but right now she could literally repent and just come up to me at a game, because I thought that's what she came up to me at a game for, instead of threatening me some more garbage that she didn't want me to go see Shane at his games. She was telling me that he's angry or whatever, but they're 5-0. They're doing great. So that's not going to work. But I thought she was going to come up to me to tell me, maybe somebody passed away. And I was just ready to say, condole, hey, all right, let's move forward. But you know what? That didn't happen. And I am very disappointed that at this point, that she's not doing that. And my daughter, Kelsey, shame on you. The other important thing, real quick, I know there's a long video, is a lot of this started because I have a 7-year-old that after I divorced Kelly. And shame on anybody, including my daughter Kelsey that I adopted. Shame on anybody to walk away from a 2-year-old child. I mean, Shane was a boy and he was a lot younger. I can almost, but Kelsey, and I got proof, pictures that she loved him, hugged and kissed him. For her to say that she hates her father that bad, to walk away from a 2-year-old brother, That is pretty sad. That's pretty disturbing too. I cannot understand it. If anything, her and her mom, they owe me an apology, because nobody was going to just sit around. It's almost like they want to torture you and hurt you and then take away all your rights as a parent and then say, you better not respond back. That's not going to happen, Kelly. Never. It's never going to happen. So this is my last video on, a long video on this kind of stuff. It's not even clear of a lot of the things. Like, I have so much details of what has been happening, but I'm going to tell you one thing. Don't watch any of my videos. Don't subscribe if you think you're going to change my mind that it's not the parents doing this. Because I have plenty of parents that is the father doing the same toxic game, and it's working for them. She knows who she is out there also. And then my other friend, it was a lesbian couple. She's part of the government. She works with the government. And guess what? DCF came in with nothing. They totally used the law for no reason, just to remove that mom from the kids' lives because bitterness. So if you're going to try to come on here and do that, don't bother, because I am 100% positive and with God on my side that I'm doing the right thing, which is bringing families together and talking it out, not blocking them out of their lives. That'll never happen. That'll never work, by the way. Don't even try doing that. So when it comes to my ex, I think it's time for you to grow up. And you know, with this whole crap of saying to my face, I think I made a video very clear before. We're past that. It's time for you to apologize and just move forward. My son is 7 years old. He wants to talk to his brother, you know, and sister. Where are you? You know what they're doing right now? They walk right by him like he doesn't exist. That's a sick person. That's a sick person, because mom is so angry at looking at the speck, tiny little speck, at the father rather than the logs in her eyes. I mean, not even. You gotta take accountability. I started this whole video about you're accountable. Just, hey, you know what? And I'm okay. If you can say, hey, you know what? That is my fault. I'm forgiving. That's the problem that I'm not understanding. I'm not saying I'm not forgiving. I want to forgive. I want to go on. Not forget, by the way. Because this is evil at its best. Anyone does this to children. So for anybody out there, I hope I made myself clear. And I would share this video. Click the bell so you can get future videos that will be coming, not soon, but at some point. I might still do another video to clarify things, but maybe specific things that have happened. I have proof for anything. But I would subscribe, share, and tell people about, you know, what's going to be happening in the future with today's Family Talk, which is basically, in a nutshell, we're going to have family gatherings of talking at the table like we're supposed to be and what we should be talking about, rather than not talking or ignoring that. You know, it's going to be, a lot of it's going to be fatherless homes. A lot of it's going to be on just communication. I think that's the number one thing in any relationship. So if you learn anything, you'll learn a lot of the communication that I've learned through my doing psychology major, communication, relationships, the difference between men and women, which a lot of the leftists are not going to talk about. There's a big difference between a man and a woman and a mother and a father. Totally two different roles. You can't be a mother and a father. I don't care what attorney phrase he says. You can't. The only thing he's looking for is that. But in the real world, everyone has their own roles. Let them do their roles. This is what I say to my ex. Let me be the father. You be the mother. I'm not stopping you from being the mom at all whatsoever. So I don't know what you've told people. If anybody's out there has heard anything else, email me. Go through YouTube or whatever. Let me know. But whatever it is, I can guarantee you it's not true, or it's manipulated. The lawyer used to say all the time, Tony just wants to get his way. No, that's what a personal injury lawyer does. They're scum. He just wants to get his way and get money. That's all he cares about. I love my children. I miss them. I want them in my life. I can care less what any lawyer has to say at all, nor judge or anybody, an advocate for the government, family, none of those people. They're garbage. If you want to live a happy life, stay away from them. Be the parent. Don't worry about other people. You don't need to go to a lawyer to ask questions or a therapist. Just talk to your ex or your husband, your wife. Talk to them. Even if you're in, I've talked to a lot of people in gay relationships. Believe it or not, being a Christian, I've still helped them, because a relationship is a relationship, but the roles are different. That's a whole different discussion. And it's worked. But that's a whole different discussion that will come in the future, though. So anyways, subscribe, click the button to get updates, and I hope I hear some comments or something. But it better not be that the kids have their own right to not have a father in life, because that is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, have a good day. I'll catch you guys later.